there is something I need to say that might sting a little. If you want women to respect you, you have to stop doing one thing, something that should be super obvious but so few men actually do. And this one thing could save you months, maybe even years of your life. But because so few men understand it, we are living in a world where countless men have zero power in dating, where they are being ghosted, left behind, and treated like they do not matter by women who they would move mountains for. And the tragedy is that these men are not bad people. They are not ugly or unworthy or broken. They are simply making a mistake that they do not even realize they are making. So, what is that one thing? It is trying to win her over by overgiving. Look, the second you do this, I know in your heart it feels like the right thing to do. You think, oh, this is the right thing to do. She will like me. I am being so nice. I am being so kind. But what you have actually done is kill the polarity. You have killed the feeling of attraction because you are overgiving, you are overinvesting, and you are signaling to her that she is the prize. And believe it or not, as much as women love to say, I am the prize, what they really want to believe, due to their hypergamous nature, is that you are the prize and that they are doing well for themselves. They want to feel like they have landed someone valuable. They want to feel like they have won you. And when you overgive, you communicate through your actions and sometimes your words that you are low value. You are lower value than her because you are overinvesting too soon. The philosopher Epictetus, one of the great Stoics, understood this dynamic centuries ago when he wrote that we should not seek to have events happen as we wish, but to wish them to happen as they do happen. In other words, you cannot control whether she values you. You cannot control whether she responds. You cannot control whether she chooses you. But you can control how much of yourself you give away before she has earned it. And that is where most men fail. They give away their attention, their time, their emotional energy, and their validation before she has done anything to deserve it. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. You meet a woman. She is attractive. She is interesting. You feel a spark, and suddenly your entire world begins to orbit around her. You text her good morning and good night. You check in during the day to see how she is doing. You ask about her day, her week, her weekend. You plan dates. You pay for everything. You show up early. You leave late. You remember every detail she mentions. You are consistent, reliable, attentive. And on the surface, all of this looks like the behavior of a good man. But underneath, something is off. She starts to pull away. Her replies get shorter. Her energy drops. She is less enthusiastic about seeing you. She is busy, tired, overwhelmed. And you are left wondering what you did wrong. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And what you are wasting in this scenario is not just time. It is your dignity, your self-respect, and the very thing that could have made her see you as valuable. The reason she is pulling away is not because you were too nice. It is because you were too available. You were too eager. You were too invested in someone who had not invested in you. Think about it this way. When you meet a woman, there is a natural tension that exists between two people who are getting to know each other. That tension is the foundation of attraction. It is the curiosity, the mystery, the uncertainty of not knowing exactly where things are going. When you overgive, you destroy that tension. You remove the mystery. You make yourself predictable, and predictability is the death of desire. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And when you are constantly thinking about her, constantly reaching out to her, constantly seeking her validation, your soul begins to reflect that neediness, and she can feel it. She may not be able to articulate it, but she can feel that you are more invested than she is. And that imbalance is what kills attraction. Women are hypergamous by nature. That is not a bad thing. It is simply a fact of evolutionary psychology. They are wired to seek out men who are valuable, who are capable, who are strong. And when you overgive, you are communicating that you are not valuable. You are communicating that you are desperate, that you do not have options, that you are lucky to have her attention. And nothing turns a woman off faster than a man who seems lucky to have her. So, how do you fix this? What do you do? What do you say? What do you not say? The key is to communicate through your behavior, and sometimes your words, that you are selective. You are not cold. You are not toxic. You are not playing games. But you are making it clear that your time and attention are valuable. You are making it clear that if she is not on the same page, if she does not view you as valuable, then you do not view her as valuable either. Simple as that. You communicate this through your behavior by not over-texting, by not always being the first to check in, by not over-planning, and by not always looking for her validation. Do not blow her phone up. Do not try to see her every other day, every weekend. Allow there to be distance. Allow there to be space. Because when people have less time in your presence, they fill in those gaps with their ideal version of you. If someone is away from you for longer, they are going to have rose-colored glasses about who you are. They will project what they want onto you and their memories of you. If she is even a little bit into you, being away from her actually works in your favor because nothing you do can compare to what her mind can do in terms of selling yourself to her. The philosopher Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself, and part of being master of yourself is being able to pull back. It is being able to say no. It is being able to wait. It is being able to trust that if she is the right one, she will not disappear just because you did not text her for a few days. And if she does disappear, then she was never the right one to begin with. The hardest thing for most men to do in this situation is nothing. It feels counterintuitive. It feels like you are losing ground. But sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is to simply do nothing. Pull back. Stop chasing. Stop over-investing. Stop signaling to women that they are the prize and that you are worth nothing. Reinvest that energy into yourself. Every time you want to text her, go to the gym. Every time you feel the urge to check in, go read a book. Every time you catch yourself thinking about her too much, go work on your purpose. This does not mean you can never text her first, but it needs to be equal. If she is not ever texting you, if she is not ever initiating, then she is not the one for you. And do not make excuses for her. Do not tell yourself she is shy or busy or this or that. Do you really want a partner like that? Do you want someone who is always making you put in way more work than she is? Do not waste your time. Cut your losses. Let me give you a practical example. Say a girl takes 8 hours to reply to you. A needy man would message her and say, "Hey, haha, did I do something wrong?" For one, never use the haha lols. It weakens your position. It communicates that you are nervous, that you are seeking reassurance. But besides that, do not send that message. You know what you do instead? Nothing. Sometimes that is the hardest thing of all, but maintaining your dignity and approaching the situation like you are valuable is the key. So, what do you send? Nothing. What do you do when she does text you back? You do not punish her. You do not ask about the distance. You reply as normal, casual. If the behavior continues, you notice the pattern and you end the relationship. You can communicate then, "Hey, we have different communication styles. It is no big deal, but I am looking for someone more aligned with me. It has been great getting to know you. All the best." Simple as that. No neediness. No drama, no opening for conversation. Simply state your standards, and that is it. And if she really was making an honest mistake, she will come correct and fix this. I promise you. Now, let us go deeper into why this works and why overgiving is so destructive. The psychology behind this is rooted in something called the scarcity principle. When something is rare, it becomes more valuable. When something is abundant, it becomes less valuable. This applies to everything in life, including your attention. When you are constantly available, constantly texting, constantly showing up, your attention becomes abundant. It becomes cheap. And when something is cheap, people do not value it. But when you are selective with your attention, when you make it clear that not everyone has access to you, your attention becomes scarce. And scarcity creates value. The Stoic philosopher Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught that the goal of life is to live in agreement with nature. And it is human nature to value what is rare. When you understand this, you stop being confused by why women pull away when you give too much. You stop being frustrated by why they lose interest when you are too available. You start to see the pattern for what it is, a natural human response to abundance. There is also a deeper layer to this that most men never consider. When you overgive, you are not just lowering your value in her eyes, you are also lowering your value in your own eyes. Every time you text her when you should not, every time you show up when you should pull back, every time you prioritize her over your own needs, you are sending yourself a message. That message is, I am not enough. I need her validation to feel okay. I am not worthy of being chosen unless I earn it. And that message, repeated over and over, erodes your self-respect. It makes you smaller. It makes you weaker. And eventually, it makes you invisible. The philosopher Epictetus wrote that no great thing is created suddenly. And the same is true of self-respect. It is not built in a single moment. It is built through the accumulation of small choices, each one reinforcing the belief that you are valuable. Each time you choose to pull back instead of chase, you build that self-respect. Each time you choose to focus on your purpose instead of her attention, you build that self-respect. And as you build it, it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your presence. And that presence is what will draw her to you, not because you are trying to impress her, but because you are genuinely impressive. Now, let me address a question that I know is on your mind. What if I do all of this and she still does not come around? What if I pull back and she just disappears? The answer is simple. Then she was never the right one, and you have saved yourself months, maybe years of wasted time and energy. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And the reality is that losing someone who was not right for you is not a loss. It is a gain. It is a gain of time, of energy, of peace, of the chance to find someone who actually is right for you. So do not fear the outcome. Do not cling to the hope that she will come around if you just try hard enough. That hope is what keeps men stuck in cycles of overgiving and disappointment. Let go of the outcome. Focus on being the kind of man who does not need to chase because he is already complete. Let me also address something that might be uncomfortable to hear. Some of the behavior I am describing, the overgiving, the overinvesting, the constant seeking of validation, it is not just about her. It is about you. It is about a hole inside you that you are trying to fill with her attention. It is about a fear of being alone, a fear of not being good enough, a fear that if you do not hold on tight, you will lose her. And those fears are what drive the overgiving in the first place. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And that power extends to your fears. You have the power to recognize them. You have the power to question them. You have the power to decide that they will not control your actions. When you feel the urge to overgive, ask yourself why. Is it because you genuinely want to give, or is it because you are afraid of what will happen if you do not? If it is fear, then do not do it. Do not let fear dictate your actions. Let your values dictate your actions. Let your purpose dictate your actions. Let your purpose dictate your actions. And over time, you will find that the need to overgive begins to fade. Not because you have become cold or distant, but because you have become whole. The philosopher Epictetus also taught that we should not be upset by what we do not have, but rejoice in what we do. And when you start to rejoice in yourself, when you start to appreciate your own value, you will no longer feel the need to earn it from someone else. You will no longer feel the need to overgive. You will simply be present, and that presence will be enough. There is something I want you to understand about women and respect. Respect is not something you can demand. It is not something you can earn through effort. It is something that is naturally given when you carry yourself in a way that commands it. And the way you carry yourself is reflected in the choices you make every day. When you choose to pull back instead of chase, you are commanding respect. When you choose to focus on your purpose instead of her attention, you are commanding respect. When you choose to walk away from someone who does not value you, you are commanding respect. And a woman who respects you will never take you for granted. She will never ghost you. She will never treat you like you do not matter. She will see you for what you are, a man of value, a man who knows his worth, a man who will not settle for less than he deserves. And here is the beautiful irony. When you stop trying to earn her respect, when you stop overgiving, when you stop chasing, you become the kind of man she cannot help but respect. The philosopher Seneca wrote that nothing is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. When you are comfortable in your own company, when you do not need her to fill a void, you become magnetic. You become the kind of man who attracts rather than chases. And that is the goal. Not to get the woman, but to become the kind of man who women naturally want to be with. So, stop doing this. Stop overgiving. Stop overinvesting. Stop signaling that she is the prize and that you are worth nothing. Reinvest that energy into yourself. Build a life that you are proud of. Build a life that you enjoy. Build a life that does not depend on anyone else for its meaning. And when you have that life, you will attract the kind of people who are worthy of sharing it with you. That is the Stoic promise. And it is a promise that has held true for thousands of years. The philosopher Epictetus taught that it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. The event is that she did not reply. The judgment is that this means you are not valuable. And that judgment, not the event, is what is causing your suffering. Let go of that judgment. Let go of the need to be validated by her. And focus on the one thing you can control, becoming the best version of yourself. Everything else will follow.